Welcome, my name is Adrian. And what I'm about to share with you isn't just some revenge fantasy or feel-good karma tale. No. It's about what happens when silence is mistaken for weakness. When someone you love humiliates you for sport. And when you respond not with fire, but with something far more powerful. This is about me. And my sister Natalie. Natalie and I grew up under the same roof. But we were never the same. She was the spotlight. I was the shadow. She was loud where I was thoughtful. Polished where I was practical. From the very beginning, she played life like a pageant and expected me to play the role of her quiet audience. At every birthday, every graduation, every family gathering, it was Natalie who got the applause. The kind of daughter who walked into a room and made heads turn intentionally. And she knew it. She fed on it. She didn't just enjoy the attention. She needed it. Me? I was the calm one. I was the listener. The observer. The one who kept her head down and her plans quiet. But there's a strange thing about being underestimated. Your whole life it sharpens you. By the time I turned 30, I had built something solid. I owned a boutique investment firm, not flashy. Not viral, just smart. I made strategic moves, kept my finances private, and built a life that didn't scream success but lived it. Natalie, meanwhile, floated from high-paying job to high-paying job, spent like money expired every month, and posted every handbag like it was a trophy. We weren't close. Not really. But we danced around each other. Sisters do that. We never had the confrontation. We just had tension, smiles too tight, compliments with blades hidden inside. Then came the reunion. It was hosted at our Aunt May's vineyard, think white linen. Tables under string lights, catered seafood, distant cousins dressed like it was a movie scene. I arrived late, wearing a black jumpsuit, hair pulled back simple but confident. I noticed Natalie right away. She was in something glittering, talking animatedly, glass of champagne in hand. And then it happened. Right in the middle of a toast. She cleared her throat and said, "Before we go any further, I just want to say how proud I am of my little sister Adrian. It takes real courage to show up tonight, especially after, you know, what she's been going through financially." Laughter stopped. Forks froze mid-air. All eyes turned to me. She continued. Not everyone would come to a party days after declaring bankruptcy. But that's what makes Adrian special. She shows up. People gasped. Some looked at me with sympathy. Others with confusion. I just stared at her, my face a perfect mask. I didn't correct her. I didn't storm out. I simply smiled a quiet, unreadable smile. What she didn't know, what no one knew, was that just 24 hours before, I had liquidated 3 investment accounts. Not because I was broke, but because I had found something worth moving fast for. A property. Not just any property. Natalie's dream lake house. She'd been talking about it for years. A sleek, modern build with a full glass front, tucked into a forest clearing with a perfect view of the water. She even joked once, if I lived there, I'd finally feel at peace. But peace was never her thing. She couldn't afford it. She was too busy chasing what glittered. But me? I had the cash. And after that public ambush, I had the motive. The morning after the reunion, I called the seller, negotiated hard, transferred funds, signed electronically. The house was mine before lunchtime. Still, I said nothing. No social media post. No family announcement. Nothing. Instead, I waited. A week later, I texted Natalie. "Hey, can we talk? Coffee at my place." She replied within seconds. Of course. She didn't ask which place. She assumed it would be my downtown apartment. She arrived in heels, clearly dressed to impress, maybe expecting me to cry, to confess, to ask her why she'd humiliated me. Instead, she pulled into the gravel driveway of the house she'd once called her forever dream. She got out of the car slowly. Her eyes scanned the wraparound deck, the lake sparkling behind it, the house glowing under golden hour light. Her mouth fell open. She didn't speak until we were inside, standing in front of the fireplace she'd pinned on Pinterest a dozen times. "Is this?" she whispered. "Yes," I said. "It's mine." She blinked. The silence between us cracked like ice underfoot. And then her voice came sharp and defensive. "Did you do this to spite me?" "No," I said calmly. "I did this to remind you that what you said about me wasn't just cruel, it was wrong." She looked away. "I didn't file for bankruptcy. I moved money. Because I make moves. Quietly. Strategically. Not everything needs to be broadcasted. To be real." Her throat tightened. "I didn't mean to." "You did," I interrupted. "You meant to humiliate me. And maybe you thought it would make you feel taller. But what it really did was show me how small you've become." I expected her to storm out. I expected the classic Natalie tantrum. But instead, she sat down. "I thought if I got ahead of the story, it wouldn't matter," she said quietly. "I thought I was protecting myself. People expect me to be the one who has it together." "That's not my problem," I said. "That's yours." We sat there in silence for a long time. Just two women who shared a childhood but had taken completely different roads through adulthood. And then she did something I didn't see coming. She cried. And not the performative fake cry Natalie tears. These were quiet, genuine, shake your shoulders tears. She said she was tired. Of pretending. Of comparing. Of competing. Of wearing the crown that didn't actually mean anything. And for the first time since we were little girls, I saw her as someone real, not just the version she curated for applause. We talked that night. Really talked. About our upbringing. About our insecurities. About the unspoken pressure we both felt to outshine each other. Instead of growing side by side. I didn't forgive her immediately. I didn't give her the satisfaction of a clean slate. But I did give her honesty. And she gave it back. Since that day, we've changed. Slowly. Carefully. But genuinely. She checks in now, not with envy in her voice, but warmth. I invite her over sometimes. She never calls it her dream house anymore. She calls it mine. And respects it. Respects me. We're not perfect. But we're finally human to each other. The moral of the story? Revenge doesn't have to be cruel to be complete. The best revenge isn't always about breaking someone, it's about awakening them. Sometimes the quietest moves make the loudest echoes. And when someone's tried to bury you with lies, the most powerful thing you can do is rise in truth, higher than they ever imagined. And if you're lucky, they'll rise too. Not as your rival but beside you.